Everybody loves a good ghost story. From the renowned haunting of the Amityville Horror House to the lesser-known curse of the Bassano Vase, legends of the ghostly and macabre have been fascinating and frightening us for centuries. But have you ever wondered if there's any truth behind the lore? Over the last 8 years that I've spent as a paranormal researcher, I have constantly asked one important question. Is this a hoax, or could it truly be a haunt? I'm Courtney Hayes, host of the podcast Haunts, where every week I dissect another ghostly legend in an effort to find the truth that lies within. Listen to Haunts for free on your favorite podcasting app and help me to unveil the unknown.
From the shadowy corners of haunted places, through the hallowed halls of spooky history, to the whispered rumors of cover-ups and conspiracy theories, welcome to the Conversation Cabin Podcast, your one-stop podcast for all things high, strange, and unexplained. I'm your fearless host, Farrah, and tonight we are diving deep into the rabbit hole of one of the world's most infamous secret societies, the Illuminati, a name that conjures images of clandestine meetings, world domination plot, and a membership list that reads like a who's who of global influencers. But how did it all begin? That's what we will be discussing today. And along for that crazy fucking ride down the Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole will be my friend Jen from 305 Paranormal. Her and her husband Mondo are on Instagram. Make sure that you go follow them, 305 Paranormal. They are paranormal investigators, but sleuths, I like to call them, because Jen knows her shit. But giving you a little sneak peek history, in 1776, a young professor named Adam Weishaupt founded a group called the Order of the Illuminati. His goal? To promote enlightenment, ideals, and combat religious influence over public life. But as we all know, nothing stirs up intrigue like a secret society. And so despite its dissolution just a decade later, the Illuminati has lived on in public imagination. Fast forward to today, and you'll find countless conspiracy theories swirling around this elusive organization, from controlling global finance to masterminding major political events, from planting hidden symbols in pop culture to allegedly counting among its members everyone from world leaders to Hollywood A-listers. There's no shortage of rumors when it comes to the Illuminati. But how much truth is there in these tales? And are they just wild speculations, or is there more than meets the eye? That's what we're going to explore tonight. Fasten your seatbelts, cabin crew, whether you're a seasoned conspiracy theorist or just a curious bystander. We promise you an enlightening ride. After all, in the words of the Illuminati themselves, the truth is out there. Or is it? Illuminating the Illuminati, secret societies and agendas starts now.
Loftus, a family says something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures. The beast of Prairie Road. Jeffrey Dunn.
And tomorrow, a man named Ted Bundy was going to die in Florida's electric chair.
They do exist, but they don't exist. They keep telling us they don't exist, but they block every opportunity.
If I wanted to kill somebody, I'd take this book and beat you to death with it, and I wouldn't feel a thing.
You heard of the Mothman?
Did you kill your mother?
Yeah.
Let's prove Bigfoot exists.
If we got out of here, a lot of people started talking.
Again, well, you guys are misinformed. I haven't killed anyone. No.
About those 28 girls hospitalized after playing with Ouija boards at their school in Colombia.
The Conversation Cabin Podcast.
On this episode, Cabin Crew, a little PSA, if you will. It's going to start out a little fucked up because I didn't hit the record button when Jen and I started talking. We were having such a great time already that, I forgot to hit record. So basically, we're going to start 15 minutes into the conversation, but we do go through a little bit of what we covered in that 15 minutes right off the bat to kind of get you caught up. So enjoy.
And just basically kill them however they want. And there was a movie that was very similar to that. I just cannot remember the name. And I'm pretty sure like that was the inspiration of that.
That is crazy. And you know what else is crazy, Jen? For the past 15 minutes, I didn't hit fucking record. But that's okay because we're only 15 minutes into it and it's going to be a great fucking episode anyway. So that's called The Black Forest.
If I remember correctly, yes. And that's their game plan. I'm going to go out there with a hatchet and start hacking people. And sometimes they had the people tied to the trees. There have been accounts of a few escapees and have talked about this, but this is like some real old, maybe interviews that you had to find online that I've seen some of.
So there's a part in one of Beyonce's song on her Formation album, which states,
y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. And then Jay-Z is known for a distinctive Rock Nation hand, which is the palms flat in a triangular formation. Jen and I are trying to weed out how much is truth and how much is fake. I had started a conversation with Jen that she was talking about that black forest overseas because there was a rumor that I heard way back when about people that weren't like rich, but they were comfortable enough to throw down $5, $10, $15, $20,000. And you go to this secluded ranch where you fulfill your fantasy with murder by you could chainsaw someone's arm off, you could stab someone, strangle someone. And I had asked Jen if she had ever heard of anything like this, and she was letting me know about a black forest place. So I'll definitely have to look into that. So back in 2014, Madonna made waves with the release of her song, actually called Illuminati, on her album Rebel Heart, echoed with the lyrics, quote, "It's like everybody in this party shining like Illuminati."
She clarified her intention, emphasizing
that really she meant it in the sense of being enlightened rather than referencing the Illuminati. But I think you'll agree with me, Jen. Have you seen recent pictures of Madonna? And she does not look her age.
No, she looks absolutely crazy. She looks nuts.
She got her whole face redone, and I'm thinking like even pulled and stretched, but her skin looks like the skin of a 20-some years old girl, which leads me to my other question of Illuminati, adrenochrome. What do you know about it?
They say for purposes of human trafficking. The rumor is with human trafficking, they do kidnap these kids, do what they want with them, and when they're at their most high, I guess when they're going to dispose of them, let's put it that way, scare them the most that they can, and when they're their highest peak of fear is where I forget where they take the blood from exactly. I think it's in your head somewhere, but they take that and they drink that blood, and it has that adrenochrome in that blood fresh. It's like if you're hunting some type of game, and this is gonna sound crazy, but for like pork, if you hunt a boar that is horny, you can taste that in the meat. It actually tastes gross. Same thing for them. There's a certain thing running in the blood. They drink that, and supposedly that is rejuvenating and turns black the clock for you. It is known that Hollywood actors do use a regimen. I think Kim Kardashian uses it, but they put their blood on their skin, like facials. It's called a blood facial. There's something to that. Remember in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Johnny Depp's character, he does mention that.
That's right. I used to watch that movie all the time. Everybody talks about the Illuminati, don't get me wrong. It's all over the internet. It's all over YouTube. It's all over everywhere. But I wish there was some way to really find out if it was true. And I do remember Sandra Bullock, there was a reel one time where she was, whether they fudged up with the editing to make it
sound like she was talking about something that she couldn't talk about. They were
Were asking her what she used on her skin, and she kept stuttering around the answer. And I just thought that was really weird.
What I had heard about adrenochrome is that
There are children that are taken and then they're scared or they're raped to get their adrenaline pumping, and then they're killed and the blood is taken.
but wouldn't that be fucking crazy if it was true?
Yeah. And sadly, that's out of everything, I believe that the most, because there's so many crazy people out there all over the world, and they have these dungeons, they torture kids. That shit is real, and it's unfortunate. It makes me like super sad when I think about it.
What popped in my mind, Jen, was the government saying that 80 some thousand kids that have come across the border are missing. Do you find that odd?
Yeah, not accounted for. Nobody knows where they're at. How?
Exactly. You want to have the border open to give people the American dream, but yet there's 80,000 kids that you've let through the border. They don't know where their poor parents are. You're making them slave labor. I'm like, here's where the kids went.
And their little secret club, as far as for what your husband mentioned, Pizzagate.
Right. That's just disgusting. Recently, did you watch the interview where the guy said that he had a sexual relationship with Barack Obama?
Yes.
Now, granted, it's alleged. Everything in this world is pretty much fucking alleged, for God's sake. Dude could really put his story very well. But it also leads you to, if you believe Pizzagate, why wouldn't you believe that Barack Obama could possibly have done this? His wife is possibly a man. His kids are possibly adopted. This is how far the Illuminati can get very deep. And I think that's why people try to suppress it as much as possible, because you are digging into things that you would not think these people that are running our country would be involved in.
Also, what is the biggest way to discredit that? Is to make fun of it. So they'll come out there and say, oh yeah, I do this. I drink blood. I'm a vampire, blah. Like, how ridiculous does that sound? And you're like, yeah, you're right. That sounds ridiculous. But you're saying that what you're doing in that.
You're getting government, you're getting actors and actresses, you're getting music. Something resonated with me that you said earlier. You used an example of, maybe it's not Illuminati, but how some artists use the devil, like the Satan type of sign and signature. Wasn't that big thing of that one black rapper that came out? He's gay, and he did his whole thing about Satan, and even Sam Smith recently, him and that one girl that's transgender, they did a song together. What was it called? Fuck, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, the guy. I don't remember the girl, but the first guy that you referred to was Lil Nas X. That he did the crazy ass video of him humping Satan. And he had the shoe deal with, I think it was Nike. And then it had a drop of blood. It was like 90, damn, how many pairs was it? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I just remembered the other guy. It was Sam Smith's song Unholy. He made a huge statement at the Grammys or one of the music award show, but he dressed in devil attire. And that's my biggest question. Do these people literally sell their soul to the devil and it's just called the Illuminati?
Exactly. So I think you're on the money. As far as Hollywood, that's their own thing, and that's how they think they're going to be as famous and as rich as they are going to be, by supposedly selling your soul, and you have to show your agreement to that. How come every halftime show now is creepy? All these people's concerts, they all have some weird ass Travis Scott, like what was the deal with that stage? Like, everybody has now some demonic looking like show, concert, outfit. Everything is just all red. A lot of symbolism. It wasn't like that before, but that has blown up so much in the past almost 10 years. It's ridiculous.
Like you said, the past 10 years, it's blown up a little bit. I think this day and age, first of all, fucking sucks. I think our country is in the worst shape that it's ever been. There's that point. Put that one aside. Now, what has been most of the reason that the world is fucked up now? Social media, internet.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think that's where it went downhill.
People are probably say that I'm completely out in left field with this, but you as a paranormal investigator know negative entities, demonic entities. You know what they're capable of, whether they're in every single YouTube video that everybody says it is on their damn paranormal investigation channel or not, which are not. But there is such a thing as negative and demonic entities. What's the way that entities are known to get from one place to another? Electrical devices, EMF, going through radio waves or TV, white noise, all of that. Just think how the country has slipped down to a fucking rabbit hole in the past 10, 20 years. And then as we keep going, you're getting more people be outlandish with their symbolism. I just think there's something else at play. I think we're getting to end times even.
I actually am one of those people that believe that 100%.
Wouldn't you say the part of end times is there's war, there's famine, there's disease, there's pandemics, there's the big thing is Satan coming into play more. What's happening most right now in the world, Jen? There's so much of this agenda of going against God. That's what they're doing. It's making where God is less to be known and someone else is getting up there, and Hollywood is like pushing it.
Exactly. That's what it said in Revelations. Like, when you see that happening is when you're in that time, when they make a mockery of God. And the younger generation now, like, I go through the comments online when I see, say, the example of Lil Nas X, when his video came out and his song, so many young people just like total disregard, not even thinking about what the shit they're looking at. Like, you're humping Satan, there's like all this crazy stuff and you're okay with it. Oh my God, I want to buy his shoes and, you know, call me daddy. Everybody was, all the younger kids were like, yes, this is the shit. Oh, shut up about your God and your religion, all this crap. And I'm like, holy fuck, there's like total disrespect, completely disrespect. And there's so much of that now and throughout social media. Like, I don't know, like, it's wild. And I feel bad because I didn't grow up like that. A lot of us didn't grow up like that. And then I don't know what it's going to take for them to wake up from that and see how wrong that is.
I agree with everything that you said 100%. That is not how I was raised. We didn't have internet when I was young. I got it when I was 21.
So that's in 1997.
But we all had friends in school. We didn't have followers. We went over to friends' houses and spent the night and would call them on the landline and be up on the phone till 2 a.m. and having great conversation. But now friends aren't even friends the way they were because they can just talk all the time. It gets down to texting. I just don't think everyone's as close as they used to be. And I think something is at play. And wouldn't you shit if you found out that the Illuminati was made by some person that's the whole agenda was to start this antichrist thing and get everybody involved in it and get Hollywood to push it. When we were in high school, we were strong, Jen. Like, we were strong. We could stand up for ourselves. There's so many kids killing themselves today. I don't want to say weak. I'm not saying that. They're not as strong as you and I were raised. Our parents raised us with, hey, get the fuck out there and mow the lawn. Go do your laundry. Go take out the garbage. Not, here's a tablet. Here's a cell phone. I don't have time for you. So this is going to raise you. Learn everything about your life on the net.
And what I think is the big issue with that, at least for the younger generation being suiciding themselves, is when it comes to social media, what's the biggest thing? I got so many likes and this and that, and they want to be included and socially accepted online, but you might have 0 friends in real life. If everybody likes your shit online or whatever, then you feel good about yourself. How did I get there? That is so weird. You'd rather be cool with a gazillion strangers, but have nobody in your life. And then it's that depression, it's that loneliness. And then when people start bullying you online, it just goes haywire. That has just changed the younger generation so much.
I agree. And I think that's where the Illuminati comes into play. It rejuvenated in the past 15, 20 years after the internet came out. How can we get the country to be more of the majority of thinking this way? And then trying to get rid of the people that think this way. We're at an age, Jen, where you're not allowed to be involved in your child's curriculum at school. And if there is a book in the library that shows how to attach a dildo or a strap on, then that's okay. We have to include transgender and non binary and all this kind of stuff. I will put it out there. If there's anyone that listens to my show that fits into one of those categories, I want to make it very clear. I have nothing wrong with any one of you and what you do in your life. Here's why I have the problem. You're trying to shove it down my throat. You're allowed to say and feel how you want to. So am I. You can't say because I feel my own feelings, that's inciting violence. You're homophobic, you're transphobic. That's where I think the Illuminati comes in play, because there's something or someone behind that knows this generation of kids is
Impressionable, vulnerable, gullible, and what does every girl want?
they want to look like Kim K. What is every girl doing? They're getting butt implants, calf implants, boob implants, ribs removed to make their waist skinnier. Do you see? It's like becoming like clonage, if that is a word.
Yeah. And supposedly, from what I've heard, in the music industry, the number one thing all the young kids with music artists are told to go a certain way. You're going to do your song about this. Your video is going to look like this. And that's why a lot of people like either break off their labels or don't want to go really deep into a label or music or into the music industry, because one, maybe they don't agree with it and they're like, we have no use for you. So next. And they use a lot of the artists and they use frequency in music, and that maybe alters your not way of thinking, but your brain state. And in some of these music, it has a certain frequency in some songs. And in some of the songs, they're talking about like outlandish shit. Subconsciously is doing something. You're not really thinking about it. If you keep, oh man, God, that track is fire, you're going to keep listening over and over again. You're putting that message into your brain, not even knowing it. And that's how it's getting like the younger gen.
I didn't even think about that, Jen, about the whole frequency. You're right. Like the ancient alien thing, this is going in another way, but it correlates with where I'm going with it. When you watch Ancient Aliens and they're wondering how these big 50-ton rocks get moved, they're starting to find out that maybe aliens, and they do a frequency sound that's able to move things. That's where I'm going, is you might be right. If we sat and had someone that was hired to go through hundreds and hundreds of songs in the past, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, and play them backwards, I guarantee you there would be some that would be saying
some weird little message. Even some of the older rock bands, they had, I can't remember what, an actual rock group. They had like a message. Damn, wasn't Metallica? Oh shit, I don't know. It was an actual rock band.
That could be a part of making these kids weak-minded. Their self-esteem isn't where it should be. There shouldn't be 11-year-olds knowing how to hang themselves in their bedroom, Jen.
My oldest daughter is going to be 9. I can't even think of her even thinking like that. And that's like you've had to been maybe for a little while now going in that direction. I don't understand that.
It's scary. It's a combination of, there might be hidden shit in the music and the sound waves, the people that are on the TV or making videos or YouTube, they're helping push certain agendas. The other thing that pisses me off is that these celebrities are going to stand up for transgenderism or fight racism or anything like this, because why wouldn't they? If they don't, then they're going to get canceled. Do you honestly think they're going to lose millions and billions of dollars because they don't hang your flag in their studio? Of course not. No one's dumb. Why would you want fake support? That goes with what you said earlier about how people want that acceptance. To me, you apparently don't accept yourself if you need strangers to tell you that, yes, you are a purple people eater fairy gremlin that's named Shim. I shouldn't need to tell you that. I shouldn't need to say, yes, that's what you are. Or, yes, you are a woman when you're really not.
Yeah, there's no self-love. And that goes back to Kim Kardashian. I watched Kim Kardashian. Oh my God, I want to look like her. I hate the way I look. Zero self-love, self-acceptance of themselves. And that also causes their depression. And all these people, they grew up in the Kim Kardashian show era. on top of that. So that, yeah, it's been really big. The social media, and on top of with them and how you're supposed to supposedly look through the magazines and the movies, it's just has maybe really ruined what they're supposed to think of themselves and caused that.
I think a lot of people are starting to put together with the Illuminati is there's so many young women. What's their hopes and dreams anymore? It's, I'm going to be on OnlyFans, and then I'm going to find a man who's going to make $1 million a year, and then I'm never going to have to work again. People are wanting to be in these groups because they think these groups are the shit. But this can lead to a lot of fucking tragedies. People getting hurt, people getting murdered, people getting raped, people getting kidnapped. You don't understand how deep these Illuminatis or secret societies or whatever you want to call them, how deep they can go.
Yeah. I did want to bring up, as far as for the Illuminati, though, what do you know about the Denver International Airport?
It was like an underground something, and there was a plaque that specified something about the New World Order, and then there's nice graffiti inside. Somebody painted it, and it's telling a story about what it's going to be like. Am I on the right track?
Yes. So that's supposedly where their main headquarters is underground, and that airport was $2 billion over budget with secret construction. Nobody knows or why. Where did all that money went? Did you ever watch American Horror Story?
Yes, of course.
I forget the name. Was it Apocalypse? I think it was Apocalypse. They had all the elite went to one certain place. I think that's their little place if the world went to shit, and they would go and survive under there, is under that airport, supposedly. It says funded by the New World Airport Commission, which sounds like New World Order, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. American Horror Story. Yeah, it seems like that's what it would be. That's what scares me the most. Jake always says something that resonates with me. He said, you do realize, Farrah, that we're just all here to work and pay taxes. We're just like these minions for the government. We go to school, we learn what they want us to learn to go into the world, to keep the world going, for the money to keep rolling, and we die. That's it. And if the world would come to an end, or we'd get taken over in some way, somehow, all the rich, the elite, the government, where do you think they're going to go?
Yep, they have their underground bunkers, all of them.
That's bullshit. It sucks to think of it like that. I was just one that I loved life so much that I didn't think of it like that. We were just born to be a continuation of filling someone's pockets. Look what we're doing with our American taxpayer money going to Ukraine. I don't remember being asked if my hard-earned money should go and help a country that I've never been to, never will go to, and whose border I really don't care about. I care about our border. I care about 80,000 kids that are missing and working midnight shift in slaughterhouses and being a part of child slave labor. I didn't sign on to live my life to fund you and what your agendas are.
And not only that, the World Health, I didn't vote them in to make changes for me and what I should be doing. Like, who voted them in to make decisions for my life, or the CDC?
They made a bunch of people take that vaccination and scare them into, you're going to lose your job. I remember nurses going on YouTube and recording themselves where they were being escorted out by security. They were fired because they did not take the vaccination, and they had so much time to do that. And they were all dressed in their scrubs on their floor at their nurses' stations. And they were told, go get your stuff, come with me, and had to be escorted out of the entire hospital, all the way out to the parking lot of their car. When COVID first came out, did those nurses and doctors work side by side, people that had COVID without the vaccine? Then when the vaccine came out, then it's you're going to be fired if you don't take it. But look how many people worked around it to save the people when COVID first started, and they didn't have the vaccine.
Exactly. Like, you were super essential back then when you needed you, but now I need you to take this. You're not going to take it. You're not essential anymore. Sorry.
The military, since these people were discharged because they wouldn't take the vaccines, now we got a law that says that the government was not supposed to weaponize people getting the vaccination, then I guess you're going to hire these people back and give them the money that they've all been missing.
I know they did that for some nurses in New York and possibly teachers, but I don't know if they're still requiring that as far as in the military. That I'm not too sure. All those people left. Say there was good, hard-ass working people in there who, just because I don't want to take that, you're going to let me go, and I've been here I don't know how many years, and you see what's in the military now. They're like desperate looking for people, and they'll just take anybody. And they ain't trying to go to war. They ain't trying to go nowhere. They don't give a shit. They're in it for good money.
The military recruitment is mad down. The percentage is very bad of recruiting. The military was asking, listen to this amount, 80 million for gender racial inclusivity. 80 million because they want to sit military people down, make sure that they all know that this is the way you treat these kind of people, these kind of people, these kind of people. I'm sure you've caught the guy that dresses as a girl on his free time. He's in the Navy or Army. They're having him be a recruiter.
Yeah, I think he's a general. Oh my.
We are like the weakest our country has ever been. We have a president that can't get up a fucking flight of steps, can't even pick up his feet in fucking 1-inch grass. And then we have a transgender for the fucking Surgeon General.
You look a hot.
Dude, I watch on YouTube, Sky Australia. It's like a news cast over in Australia. If you want a laugh fest, go check them out sometime. It will make you sick to your stomach. We are like the most embarrassing country out there. They're just making fun of that Dylan Mulvaney like crazy. But this is what they relate to the United States. It's all about the transgenderism, the non-binaries, the 2,000,001 pronouns. That's what all these news places link the United States now for. It's not the strongest country in the world. Our news media, it's all about racism, gender inclusivity. It's about who it got their feelings hurt. It's all change and it's all shitty.
Yeah. All over the world, I've caught different news, I guess, lives from different places in the world. Australia, I think the one that you mentioned, in India too. Like all of them talk shit. They rightfully, but we're looking bad to everybody. We're looking really bad. Even in South America, bad.
Yeah, and mind you, some of these are third world countries that have war in their streets every day, and we look like fucking idiots. Just a summary of everything that I think you and I have talked about. The Illuminati is just a facade word for the New World Order. That's what I think. They're going to be the only ones left here when our country gets nuked or taken over.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Bill Gates. He's very much in it.
Yeah, he's a strange feller. I'm going to be doing some stories coming up on... Have you ever heard of Anton LaVey?
Yeah.
Yes. It's not like I like him for what he did. I just find him intriguing, just like I find Aleister Crowley intriguing. Even Aleister Crowley was thought to be in the Illuminati.
I think one of those two, I can't remember if it was Crowley or LaVey, he was in or part of, remember the one organization that you said, the Russia Christians? I think he has something to do with that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, or maybe it was LaVey. I know one of them has, maybe that's how they started, but they had the same type of belief. Cannot remember.
The Illuminati does take you in different directions. I just think it's a word that represents a new world order of the elite that want to do things that you would otherwise be in jail for, or disgusting acts. I don't think of it as a conspiracy theory after I researched it. A conspiracy theory to me is more the flat earth theory. Illuminati is groups, the Odd Fellows, Freemasons. In that society, you have to go into a room and look at a real skeleton, base your own immortality. A lot of our monuments were built by Freemasons. See, that is a truth. It's not a conspiracy theory to me. We know that. Any last comments that you want to make, Jen, about the Illuminati and just secret societies?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. They have their rituals. They use a lot of symbolism. They try to make it as cool in Hollywood and in the music and all these industries. And I guess trying to separate the younger generation or people in general from God and bring in more of a darker agenda at play to maybe do what they want and have people be okay with it. Because if not, people will be like, no, I'm not down with that. But this is their way of doing that.
Anyone that follows these insane agendas thinks that representing Satan and the devil in songs and videos is cool and hip and it's the fucking shit. Don't follow the agenda. It's leading to the pit where you think it's cool and you think it's representing the new way, or I guess the new order. You're wrong.
You have to love yourself, be strong in that, and not easily brainwashed by these people.
Everybody needs to go back to you're just you. Make your own path. Stop following others. I really hope that you enjoyed this different kind of episode. Jen, I appreciate you coming on. I think that you're an awesome voice of reason. Tell my listeners where you can be found, all your handles.
Thank you so much. Online, social, TikTok, YouTube, and it's 305 Paranormal. And we have, go on my Instagram. I have everything on there. I'm actually wrapping up something right now that we've been doing, guesting on a lot of people's podcasts. So I want to shout out to everybody and thank them for having me on, because I appreciate that so much and I love talking to everybody. So I hope to do more of that. We're just going to keep investigating. We have a few places in Georgia that we want to hit up, but that will be for the new year because the holidays are coming up and that shit is expensive. But thank you so much for having me on.
I want to give some quick shout outs. Stacy, Larry, Rai, John. Goodness, I'm trying to go through all the names. Men of Misfortune, Tyler, Samantha and Tracy of the Suspended Sentence podcast. Make sure you check them out. Amanda from One Nothing podcast. She has a fascinating true crime podcast with a fucked up twist to it. You need to go listen to that, so head there right now. Mrs. Spooky Obsess with your host Vicky, Tracy from Total Conundrum podcast, Drewski and Zook from Cryptid Warfare, Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are, David from Down the Rabbit Hole, Nicole and Deanie from Girls Gone Weird podcast. At the beginning of this episode was Courtney's trailer for Haunts, Arnie from El Hauntino, Jen and Mondo from 305 Paranormal, Amanda, our Canadian Amanda. Eddie Linedecker, you always email me after every podcast show. Let me know how you like this one.
Next week, I'm going to be covering the Jameson family murders.
Stay tuned for one of my favorite podcasts, Beyond the Shadows. Go and add them onto your podcast playlist. And until next time, Cabin Crew, explore your strange.
Beyond the Shadows podcast.
In the darkest corners of our universe lie spaces where even the light won't go.
Places where terror and the unknown lurk, always waiting.
Join Ryan and Scott on the Beyond the Shadows podcast as we pull back the curtain and peer into the darkness.
We'll examine hauntings, true crimes, mysteries, UFOs, exorcisms, reincarnations, mysteries, and all things dark.
Join us as we go Beyond the Shadows